How's it going, everyone? Today we got a story time of a spoiled kid's dad who wants to fight the subscriber. It's a pretty crazy story, and I know you'll enjoy it. So sit back, relax, subscribe if you're new, leave a like on the video to claim your free nothing. And with that all being said, let's just jump right into it. So this story all happened when the subscriber was in high school, and he was taking this math class. And there's a kid in his math class who we're going to call the spoiled kid. So the spoiled kid was your very, very standard, very typical spoiled kid. You already know how it goes, right? You know, never really had to work for anything, always kind of felt that, like, he was entitled to everything, thought he was a genius, didn't realize that, like, his actions had consequences. It's a very standard spoiled kid, right? So this was junior year of high school. And if you don't know, the college application process, your grades matter, but your grades specifically junior year and also senior fall matter the most, because the colleges are going to care about really how you did most recently and not as much how you did freshman year. So if you're killing a freshman year, but then you're falling off junior year, they're going to see that not very good, and they're not really, because they're looking for who you are now. They're trying to get a picture of that. So it's pretty important to get pretty good grades, especially junior year, depending if you want to get into like a really good college that cares really heavily about that. So the spoiled kid came from a family that was always trying to one-up their other, like, you know, rich family friends or whatever. And a very common thing that happens is, like, a lot of, like, you know, rich families will basically fight with each other over, you know, oh, well, my kid is going to X college, or my daughter is going to X university. It's like, oh, well, if you look at the rankings, that university is better than that college, so I win. You lose. This is my perfect game. I win. And then laugh maniacally, right? But yeah, so the spoiled kid had a lot of pressure from his parents to do well in this class. But also the spoiled kid was not doing well in this class because he wasn't trying. Yeah, believe it or not, if you don't try in an exam or try in a class, you're not going to do well. Shocker. Anyways, though, so yeah, the subscriber said that the spoiled kid would legitimately never show up to class. When he was in class, he wouldn't be paying attention. And it was, you know, they've already had one pretty major exam. And while the subscriber doesn't know this for a fact, he can make a pretty good guess that the spoiled kid did really, really poorly and needed to do really well on the second exam, because they had two exams and then one final exam. And the way that the class was kind of like structured was like you had two exams. Oh, well, you had three exams actually, because of counting the final. They were all in theory equal weight. But if you did poorly on one, your grade could be the average of the two. You could choose to have your grade be the average of the two or the average of the three. And it makes sense to do average of the two, because then you choose the two highest grades, right? So if you bombed one of the three exams, you could in theory be fine if you just do really well or even just decent on the next two. So the spoiled kid must have done really terribly on the first exam, because as you guys will see as the story unfolds, his parents had a lot of pressure on him to perform really well on this upcoming exam. So anyways, the school year goes on, and they've already had the first exam, and now they're coming up to the second exam. And a lot of classes like preparation for it and all that kind of stuff, right? And the spoiled kid is just not there. And let me just say that not being in class doesn't necessarily mean that you're not trying. At least in college, sometimes you're actually better off studying on your own, as sometimes professors can be pretty not super useful, especially if they're just like reading off lecture slides and not answering questions and just not being super useful. Like, there are definitely times where that is very much the case, and what are you going to do about it? But the spoiled kid was not going home and studying for this exam when he was skipping the class, right? He just straight up was just like cruising and just like not. I don't know if he was like literally cruising, but knowing this kid's family, maybe he was literally cruising. Who even knows? But anyways, right, the subscriber kind of just notices that the spoiled kid is not putting any attention or any thought into doing well on these exams. So day before the exam, it's like the final review day, and the spoiled kid actually had to show up. The teacher doesn't like make any comments or anything, because the teacher has a very laid back, if you want to show up or not, that's not my problem. I will teach whoever comes, and I get paid regardless. So yeah. And also the teacher was, I think, kind of aware that maybe I'm not teaching the best way for all students, and they might be better off learning on their own, even though I'd probably still highly suggest they come. Anyways, though, so it's the day before the exam, and the spoiled kid is there, and the subscriber kind of just makes notice of the spoiled kid. Looks like he's scrambling to like just jot stuff down on a piece of paper, but it's not okay. The subscriber didn't know for a fact then that the spoiled kid was like freaking out because of the pressure he had on him and just wasn't aware of what he was doing. But the subscriber could at least make some educated guesses, right? The subscriber can make some educated guesses that the spoiled kid was not about to do well in this exam, and it looked as if he was a little bit stressed. The subscriber didn't exactly know the exact reasons or the connotations for, or exactly why he was super stressed, but the subscriber would find out soon enough. So anyways, let's roll to the exam day, and this is where things start to get pretty spicy. So the subscriber gets there a little bit early for the exam, as you know people do before the exam, and he's kind of just like waiting outside, and he's just kind of like reviewing his notes. He has done a pretty good job studying. He's done it over many, many days. He feels fairly confident. It's a difficult class, so there's no guarantees, and he's not feeling like so confident that he's, I don't know, just gonna like blow off studying anymore. He feels relatively prepared. But that's when the spoiled kid comes up to them, or comes up to the subscriber. It's also important to know that the subscriber and the spoiled kid are not necessarily friends. They know of each other. I think they've had a few good interactions, but they're definitely not friends. And the spoiled kid says, dude, like, you mind if I just, like, you know, cheat off all your answers in class? And the subscriber's just, like, so taken aback by this. And he's like, I mean, I don't know if I would mind, but I really do want to focus on finishing my exam. Like, I can't just be, like, giving you answers during the whole thing. And the spoiled kid says, dude, don't worry about it. It won't be a big deal. Like, just make sure that I'm able to sit next to you, and I'll just look over. And so the subscriber was a little bit like, I don't know. He wasn't super happy about it, as he kind of, like, didn't like the spoiled kid that much already. He didn't think the kid had good character, which, I mean, is pretty clear here. But also, he's like, am I really just going to let him, like, cheat off of like my hard work or whatever, and just, but then also the spoiled kids or the subscribers like, yeah, whatever, I kind of don't care. And I also don't want to make a fuss out of it. Like, if he wants to look at my paper and I don't have to necessarily do anything, then whatever, right? But remember, the spoiled kid said specifically, make sure that there's a spot next to you available for me. So anyways, about 10 minutes later, people start heading into the classroom. The spoiled kid is nowhere to be seen. The subscriber goes in and he sits down. And about like a couple minutes later, the teacher comes in and most of the kids are in the class. The spoiled kid is still not there. Maybe he's in the bathroom, maybe he's just messing around. But anyways, there is one spot next to the subscriber. And the subscriber watches as his friend walks in and sits down next to him. So his friend is now officially sat in the last seat next to the subscriber. And for a second, the subscriber's like, oh, wait, maybe I should tell him, like, you can't sit next to me, the spoiled kid is. But then he's like, wait, no. I don't even necessarily want to help this guy cheat in the first place. Why would I tell my friend, no, you can't sit next to me. I'm letting this kid that we both dislike cheat off of me. So the subscriber instead says like, you know, screw it. I'm just like, you know, it's too bad the spoiled kid came in too late. I'm just going to start my exam and not really think much of it. Yeah. So anyways, right. Sure enough, you know, the subscriber like is just kind of sitting there. The tests are passed out and people begin. And the subscriber notices as like the door opens really quickly and like the spoiled kid runs in 2 or 3 minutes late, which of course the spoiled kid's not on time for this massive exam. But anyways, he looks around, then he looks at the subscriber, and then he kind of looks around to the seats next to the subscriber. And the spoiled kid just gives the subscriber such a dirty look. And the subscriber quickly looks away and just starts going on the test as he's like, this is just simply not my problem. This kid, who I don't know, comes up to me and is basically banking that me, someone who he's never helped and we've never really had that great of an interaction before, is just going to let him cheat off all my exam answers, and he's not even going to come in on time. And so anyways, they sit down and they take the exam. And needless to say, the spoiled kid, who has completely banked his entire strategy off cheating off the subscriber, does not do very well. So after the exam is done, the subscriber finishes pretty early and goes about his day. Towards the end of the day, he runs into the spoiled kid. Or I should say the spoiled kid was searching him out and runs into him. The spoiled kid comes up to the subscriber and is like, why'd you screw me over like that? Like, you have a problem with me or something? And the subscriber said, dude, like someone just like, you were just like super late. And I didn't want to tell like my friend he couldn't sit next to me because I was like waiting to give you the answers. And the spoiled kid's like, you don't understand what you just did. Like, you screwed me out of passing that class. Like, even if I do really well in the final, my grade's still going to be super tainted. Like, do you know the pressure I'm under? And the subscriber's like, man, I mean, look, You didn't show up for class, and it doesn't really seem like you were trying. I don't know why you wanted to bank your entire strategy off of cheating off someone. Doesn't sound very smart to me. And maybe the subscriber was like, shouldn't have said that little last comment of doesn't sound very smart to me, just to like, not because he isn't right, because he's 100% on point, but just kind of like not to like instigate this any further. However, the spoiled kid did not take this well and immediately storms off. And the subscriber is thinking to himself, okay, well, this is it for the spoiled kid. I'm probably not going to have to deal with him anymore. Maybe he's going to mess with me a little bit. But the last thing the subscriber ever expected was that the spoiled kid's dad was going to be the one to come in and, it's about to be a really interesting part 2 to this story. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment "spoiled" down below. That'll be the secret word of the day, and it'll let me know how many people made it this far into the video. If you use Spotify, just so you know, we're also on Spotify. The link's in the description and maybe the pinned comment if there's a pinned comment. Or you can just search up Connor Pugs on Spotify and you'll find my official account. And finally, I want to remind you that up until the summer, we have the Binge Watch Challenge, which is kind of like a community challenge where you go in the comment section and you let me know how many videos you've watched today, how many videos you've watched this week, and also if you want to tell me what you're doing while watching the videos. It's super interesting. A little bit of a community event, and also watching a lot of the videos gives a lot of watch time, which really does help the channel. Here's someone on screen right now doing the challenge, so thank you to them. Thank you to you. With that all being said, let's get right back to it. Anyway, so about a week goes by, and the subscriber has completely forgotten, or it's just at least not something that he thinks about, the whole event of the spoiled kid being super mad with him. They got their exams back, and needless to say, the subscriber did fine, and the spoiled kid did not do well. I mean, we don't know exactly how bad the spoiled kid did, but it's pretty clear the spoiled kid did not do that well. Anyways, though, about a week later, they're all wrapping up classes. It's the end of the day. So the subscriber is at his locker, he has his bag, he's getting his stuff together, and he's getting ready to leave. And when he turns around, the people he sees in front of him are not the people he was expecting to see. It is the spoiled kid, which his locker's on the other side of the school. Makes no sense for him to be here right now. And not just the spoiled kid, it's also the spoiled kid's dad is there. And they're both very intentionally like standing behind like the subscriber. Like they're not just like looking around for something. They don't happen to accidentally be here. This is very clearly all on purpose and all very planned. So anyways, the subscriber, very clearly confused by this, is kind of like, can I help you with something? And the spoiled kid's dad says, no, you could have helped us with something, but now you've made a great mistake. And the subscriber's just like, what? Like, dude, what? So yeah, the subscriber's dad said, like, you've ruined my son's chances of getting into a good college. And I just got to ask you, why? And the subscriber's like, whoa. First of all, are you really pinning your son's success in this class off his ability to cheat off of me? And the spoiled kid's dad is like, my son was a little bit distracted this semester. He had a lot of obligations. And the fact that you like robbed him of a passing grade in this class, I just personally can't understand it. And the subscriber's like, look, like, sir, your son asked to cheat off of me. I was fine with it, but he was late to class and the seats around me filled up. So at this point, right, the spoiled kid's dad's like, the spoiled kid told me that, or my son told me that, he asked you very specifically to save a seat for him and you didn't. That to me sounds like an active act of like making sure that he fails the test. So at this point, the subscriber's realizing that the spoiled kid's dad really doesn't care that the spoiled kid's main plan to cheat, and that the spoiled kid's dad was angry at him, for some reason. Well, the reason was because he didn't allow the spoiled kid to cheat off of. I mean, the thing is, too, the subscriber said, I don't care. I didn't care if the spoiled kid was to cheat off of me. I just, he didn't even, come in on time. I would have been fine if he went out of his way, but at a certain point, I'm not going to set up a perfect situation for him. If he wants to cheat off of me, I'm not going to make a fuss about it, but that's a little bit different, you know what I mean? So, I guess the spoiled kid's dad did not know what he meant. So the spoiled kid's dad says, look, son, you need to promise me something. And the subscriber's looking at him like, dude, I don't need to promise you anything, but sure, what's up? So the spoiled kid's dad goes on to say, my son got a 58 on that exam. He needs if he gets a 90 or above in the next exam, he'll at least pass the class with an okay grade that won't completely destroy his rep. I need you to guarantee me that you will study properly, you will score at least a 90%, and you will also facilitate a perfect environment for my son to get the answers from you. So the subscriber's just like so kind of like taken aback by this, because he was expecting the dad to like, I don't know. He had no idea what he expected the dad to do. However, he didn't expect the dad to be like, I need you to promise me that you'll make sure that my son can cheat off of you next. So yeah, he doesn't even like bother with being like, maybe I'll make my son actually study and work for the grade. He literally just says, I'm going to make sure I don't think my son's going to study anyways, so I'm going to make sure that he gets a good grade. So the subscriber says, look, I have no reason to like guarantee that. Like at this point, you guys have been super confrontational. I don't know your son. I don't know you. And at this point, like your son asked to cheat off of me. I've been pretty chill about it. And I said it was okay. And then all of a sudden, right, when he doesn't go through with doing his small bit of sitting next to me and being there on time, he fails the exam, you blame it on me, and now you want me to guarantee you that your son will have a guaranteed spot to cheat off of me? I just don't understand why I would do that. And that's when the spoiled kid's dad, who's a fairly big guy, and I mean like football player big, not mobility scooter big, right? He's a fairly big guy, starts to like walk up at the subscriber very intimidatingly. And the subscriber did not, look, dude, he did not see this on the horoscope, bro. He did not expect the spoiled kid's dad to try and physically intimidate him. Some like junior in high school. So the subscriber's like, are you threatening me? And the spoiled kid's dad said, I was a star like quarterback back in high school. And like, what like, the football kids do to nerds like you, or what we can do. Let's just say I was pretty like, I've been like around that ring quite a bit and I'm pretty good. It's like, you don't really want to mess with me, especially with like 30 years and 30 years worth of like extra muscle packed on, like basically threatening this kid. So as this is all happening, the janitor happens to walk in and sees a very weird situation of this like parent, like very clearly like physically intimidating like this kid. So the janitor's like, we're having an issue over here, guys. And the spoiled kid's dad, not trying to be seen or not trying to be caught, it's like, no, we're good. And the subscriber's like, all right, well, I think I'm going to go now. So at this point, right, the spoiled kid's dad can't be like, you're staying here, bud, because, then this, the subscriber would be like, this man's holding me against my will, sir, to the janitor or whatever. And then the janitor would probably announce or go get someone or whatever. So yeah, because the janitor walked in, the subscriber was able to walk out. And from that point on, like, the subscriber never really saw the spoiled kid's dad again. The spoiled kid came up to him a few more times and be like, dude, my dad's going to like smoke you if you don't let me cheat. And the subscriber didn't give it a definitive answer until the final exam rolled around. And when the final exam actually rolled around, he didn't let the spoiled kid cheat, ensuring that he failed the class. And yeah, the spoiled kid afterwards like, my dad's going to destroy you, bro. Guess what? The dad never actually showed up. It was an empty threat. If you want to support the channel, click on one of the videos on screen right now. If you're listening on Spotify, just listen to another podcast, and peace.